Hello, welcome to YouTube and podcast. Channel Law Reader episode 1.6. Today I will read Chapter 2. Responsible Institutions from Article 67 to Article 74. Article 67. Roles and duties of the ministry responsible for environment and natural resources. The ministry responsible for environment and natural resources shall have the following roles and duties. A. Organize and coordinate vision, policies, strategies, and plans concerning climate change. B. Control, monitor, and evaluate the implementation of policies, strategies, and plans concerning climate change. C. Organize the dissemination of laws and legal instruments concerning climate change. D. Lead, coordinate, and implement the tasks as the focal point for international legal instruments concerning climate change. E. Strengthen and promote collaboration in organizing and monitoring the implementation of climate change policies, strategies, and plans. F. Mobilize resources and technical support to implement policies, strategies, activity plans, programs, and projects concerning climate change. G. Manage, coordinate, monitor, and evaluate the implementation of activity plans, programs, and projects concerning climate change. H. Lead, coordinate, and implement activity plans to provide scientific information to support organizing and evaluating the implementation of climate change policies, strategies, and plans. I. Lead, coordinate, and develop databases, learning and research centers, and museums concerning climate change. Chapter 3. Climate Change Response. Part 1. Policies, strategies, and plans responding to climate change. Article 68. Update and coordination of climate change responses. The ministry responsible for environment and natural resources shall develop, update, and coordinate climate change response in compliance with climate change policies and strategies and international legal instruments on climate change and sustainable development, to which Cambodia is a state party. Article 69. National, subnational, and sectoral strategic development planning. In cooperation with the ministries/institutions responsible for planning, the ministry responsible for environment and natural resources shall mainstream and integrate climate change considerations into national, subnational, and sectoral strategic development plans of relevant ministries/institutions and subnational administration. Article 70. Activity planning and sectoral budget planning. 1. In cooperation with relevant ministries/institutions and subnational administration, the ministry responsible for environment and natural resources shall organize, identify, and integrate climate change response considerations into sectoral activity and budget plans. 2. Organizing, identifying, and integrating tasks as stipulated in paragraph 1 above shall comply with national laws, legal instruments, policies, and strategies concerning climate change and international legal instruments on climate change to which Cambodia is a state party. Article 71. Development and investment planning. 1. In cooperation with the ministry/institution responsible for economy and finance planning and relevant ministries/institutions, the ministry responsible for environment and natural resources shall organize, identify, and integrate climate change impacts and response considerations into development and investment plans. 2. In cooperation with relevant ministries/institutions and subnational administration, the ministry responsible for environment and natural resources shall mainstream and integrate climate change impacts and response considerations into all development and investment plans. Part 2. Climate Change Response. Article 72. Climate Change Response. In cooperation with relevant ministries/institutions, subnational administrations, and stakeholders, the ministry responsible for environment and natural resources shall implement the following climate change response measures. A. Greenhouse gas emission reduction measures include, but are not limited to, promoting and improving energy efficiency, promoting the development and use of renewable energy, promoting the development and use of mass public transportation and the use of fuel-efficient transportation and low-carbon transportation, promoting the restoration, conservation, and sustainable forest management to protect carbon sinks and enhance greenhouse gas absorbing capacity. Enhancing and mobilizing support to implement clean development mechanisms. Activities to reduce deforestation and forest degradation emissions, conservation, sustainable forest management, and enhancement of forest carbon stock, REDD+, and other greenhouse gas emission reduction activities. Raising awareness and enhancing proper soil and land use management practices to address climate change. Climate change adaptation measures include but are not limited to assessing the vulnerability of biological, social, and economic systems to climate change, including but not limited to climate-sensitive sectors and geographical areas prone to climate-related disasters, and identifying opportunities for climate change adaptation. Organizing and constructing climate-resilient and low-carbon infrastructure, including but not limited to agriculture, fisheries, transport, and industrial energy sectors. Developing and implementing management measures for natural protected areas to adapt to climate change. Improving early warning systems and the timely dissemination of climate information, and promoting sustainable livelihood practices that increase resilience to climate change. And mobilization and financing, capacity strengthening, awareness raising, and technology transfer. Mobilizing climate finance from development partners and relevant climate funds. Strengthening technical and institutional capacity for climate change response. Strengthening knowledge of climate change adaptation and mitigation practices and technologies best suited to the Cambodian context. Promoting research, education, technology transfer, and Internet. Part 3. Development of financing framework and mobilization of finance. Article 73. Development of financing framework for climate change. 1. The development of a financing framework for climate change activities in collaboration with relevant ministries/institutions shall include a. An analysis of financing needs. B. A strategy to meet the financing needs by using available domestic and external sources of finance. C. Capacity development measures. D. Institutional or financial mechanism reforms to mobilize and manage climate change finance. 2. In developing a financing framework, the ministry responsible for environment and natural resources shall collaborate with ministries/institutions responsible for economy and finance. Article 74. Mobilization of external finance for climate change. 1. The ministry responsible for environment and natural resources shall have the authority to coordinate the mobilization of external climate change finance to implement climate change activities. 2. External financing proposals to implement climate change activities shall be submitted to the ministry responsible for environmental and natural resources for review and decision-making. 3. Procedures for review and decision-making of financing proposals stipulated in paragraph 2 above shall be determined in APRACAs by the minister responsible for environment and natural resources INL cooperation in all areas of climate change. Raising public awareness of climate change. Thank you for listening.